Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, Professor Bhattacharya, sir. Actually, we are waiting for few minutes for another participants. Then we can start our session. A very good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to third day on our online 1 week faculty development program for methods for improving higher education teaching quality using outcome-based education, pedagogical approaches and NEP 2020 from 22nd of July to 26th of July 2024, organized by the Department of Computer Science and Engineering in association with Internal Quality Assurance Cell at Haldia Institute of Technology in West Bengal. We would like to thank our professor, eminent speaker, Professor Debadas Bhattacharya, for accepting our invitation and delivering the speech Outcome-Based Education and Accreditation on behalf of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Haldia Institute of Technology in West Bengal. Professor Bhattacharya is working as a full professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Jadavpur University, having 27 years of teaching experience. His research interests pertain to the application of machine learning and biometrics and diagnostic image processing. He has authored and co-authored more than 152 journals and 142 proceedings in conference publication and 51 book chapters in biometrics and image processing. He has a number of patents in on Indian author and US and Australian and German authors on the Professor of the Bhattacharjis. He has granted research projects funded by the Government of India for total amount of Indian rupees 30 million. He has served as a visiting professor and postdoctoral researcher in various universities abroad in countries like German, Italy, Russia, UK, and Japan also. Professor Bhattacharjee is actively involved in outcome-based education and accreditation. He is on the different editorial board as a session chair and for the different chair or different conferences organized by the several conferences as a general chair and the session chair and the overall responsibilities. He is a fellow of WAST, IET and a life member of IST and he is a senior member of IEEE USA. So now actually we need to felicitate to our speaker by this plant. Actually our session is going on through the online, so we are unable to hand over to you, sir. But we can plant it in the college campus by your name, sir. Thank you so much and welcome, sir. And you can start your session and over to you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon to all participants. This is the session mainly related to OBE and NEP and educational pedagogy, those things. Uh, my the brief biodata, what was told, that is mainly for my research in the domain which is related to my study, that is computer science and engineering, and this topic is not related to that. That's why I must tell that in this NBA process I am involved from for last 10 years. I am visiting different institutes in India as evaluator of NBA, and those are already done. So I can say some few names of institutes like NIT Kurukshetra, Jamia Millia Islamia, Manipal Academy of Higher Education, Manipal, JNTU, Kakinada. So this type of institutes I have visited, along with several other Tier 2 institutes. Presently, I have started writing a book also in this NBA and accreditation, because I have seen several visits where people are getting accreditation, but they are not capable to answer most of the questions comfortably or confidently. Uh, so it is taking time. Otherwise, I could have shown you entire book. Thank you for organizers for this organizing this event and inviting me. And special thanks to Umesh also. Yes, means from the very beginning, last 2 3 months, he has communicated several times. Next, if I move to my presentation, okay. So I think this is the topic title is outcome-based education and accreditation. The slide is visible, I think. Is it visible slide?
Yes, sir. This is visible.
Okay, rolling on. Okay, fine. So this is about outcome-based education and NBA. I have written mainly it should be accreditation. So our in India, accreditation that is given by National Board of Accreditation, and for that this accreditation and NBA that is synonymous. People are using the term NBA. Means even nobody asks like, have you got accreditation? No. People ask like, have you got NBA? Or NBA is coming for visit. So that way we are using this NBA is then only we can go for NBA or we can expect NBA accreditation, otherwise not. So this OBE we are in our country, we are trying or implementing OBE for NBA. Means we to get that accreditation we are using this OBE. Why I am saying this? Because in some other countries, uh, this OBE practice was there much before accreditation. The people they implemented OBE first. Later on, this accreditation that came. But in our case, in our country, this accreditation it came, and for accreditation we require NBA. So that's why it was implemented. So no OBE, then no NBA, and OBE practice. OBE practice is very interesting thing. Why this point I have mentioned. Our university, when we first attempted that, we tried that we go for NBA. So initially there was reluctance in our university that Jadavpur why it should go for NBA. We have very good quality and all these things. But later on we agreed that we should go for it. So we started in our department. We started it around 2017 or 18. We started. Then there was a meeting, and one of our senior professors he was asking that this whatever you are saying for this OBE practice and all. First three lectures in my department that I prepared and that presentation I have given to all faculty members. So that one, so that professor asked that whether we are just to show and be a team that we are doing OBE or outcome-based education, or we will be doing this outcome-based education in our department, in our programs. That was his question, and that is still valid for in almost all institutes. So is it like that we are trying to show some documents or whatever is required that will be seen by NBA experts, or the entire things that we want to develop or we want to show, those will be automatically generated because of our NBA or sorry OBE practice in our department or in our group. So that is a question here, whether we are in practice or we are just to we are collecting those and we are creating something to show. So that there is a difference. So this is the topics what I will be discussing that I have mentioned. In this, first comes accreditation. So your institute also, I think, it is accredited. All others who have joined, maybe all are accredited. You are part of this accreditation program. And so, what is accreditation? Why it is needed? Still, we find some are not. They are not in good answer or don't have good answer for these questions. Since I told you that I have started writing a book, so I have written something like, say, if I say I started, I told that Jadavpur University initially didn't agree for NBA accreditation, that we are very good quality, so why should we go for it? Even IIT is still bargaining that IIT will go for accreditation or not, and there is still some tussle is going on. Now, thing is that why accreditation is required? Accreditation is because if I say that I am excellent one, I am outstanding, so that doesn't look good. If someone else is saying that this person is good or that institute is having very good quality, then that is very much dependable, that statement or that certificate, whatever. So this is the main issue of this certification, that you may say that because of result is that those things I am very good, but it is not. If we have someone else that can issue you a certificate, and for that this accreditation it came depending on some criteria, we are having official approval. Now, since we are saying that it is accreditation or official approval, then there must be some body, some committee, something that will give all this, maintaining all other criteria or looking into all those things. So looking into all those prescribed standards, there will be certification. Now, accreditation refers to two different things. One is, initially we have started, say some institute applied for accreditation, then they have started, and in 3 years, last 3 years, what they have done, they are showing it. So we have done this syllabus modification. This may not be enough because it is a continuous process, and we will have continuous approval also. First time, second time, third time. So after every 10 years, whatever, 3 years, 6 years, accreditation was approved. After that, again, there should be evaluation, and that will be done. In our country, so this is the board, the National Board of Accreditation. Initially, ICT used to do these things, and then it was separated, and it came as a separate board for accreditation of engineering and management programs. Now, that was the accreditation part. Now, why this accreditation is required? Required in the sense, now in our country it is very common that students, when they enter into engineering institute, from the very first day they start thinking like they have entered into airport just to go to US or some other country. So they are in that motivation or understanding that after completion of this degree, they are going abroad somewhere and working there. That's why this came after, mainly after globalization started in India 1991, and after that, so they are working in some other countries. So whenever we go for some other countries, then what about standard of this degree? Now, BTech or BE degree, they are going to US or Canada, Australia, anywhere. Then what is the status of that degree, whether it is based on some criteria, some credit, and what is the standard, what are the assessment process. So those things are to be verified, and that should be at par with other countries or students from other countries. And keeping that in view, 1989, that Washington Accord, it came into existence. And their first countries, those signed this Washington Accord in 1989, United States of America, UK, New Zealand, Ireland, Canada, Australia. Then we have several other records: Sydney Accord, Dublin Accord, European Network Accreditation Education, Seoul Accord, Lima Accord. So these are several accords, those came in, and India also joined to that. So this is the timeline. It started from 1989 and it continued for some remarkable accords. Those were created, and based on those accords, we have a standard. So this NBA, what we see that NBA comes to the team comes to any institute and they are doing some exercise and giving certificate of accreditation. This is one part. What we don't know, or perhaps most of you may not know, that the NBA is again accredited by international body. Whether this NBA India board, whether they are doing their task according to that accords or not, for that some committee they come to India and they visit NBA office, some selected institutes, those are accredited already, to check whether these are properly working or not. So it is not like that only NBA is coming and saying this, that, not good. They are also in some time they are in a position that there is a visit from international body or outside. Now, perception of peer and relevant societal component, that is here in this accreditation part. So some of the things are very quantitative, like if some what is the students to faculty ratio. So it's fixed, or any result type or any placement percentage. But some other parts, how teaching learning process is going on, or how syllabus these are designed, how feedback system is working. So for that there are peer perception. So evaluators, they evaluate in that way. Uh, if there is no accreditation, then there are some issues present days. Some institutes they are facing, like increasing intake of an existing program or starting a new program. It is not allowed if there is no NBA accreditation. Then competition in institutions, there are several rankings. All those things are shown to attract students. In our institutes, or maybe in India, several institutes, they go on competing to its other institutes in that locality, saying that okay, that institute, other institutes are not having NBA accreditation, we are having NBA accreditation, so our institute is much better than that. Even I have seen some institute, they are just asking for NBA because they want to increase their fees. That some state they have this rule or regulation that if you don't have NBA accreditation, you cannot go beyond that limit of fees. So these are there. And if there is no NBA accreditation for a long period, then people may ask, or other students from other institute may ask these students, that okay, your institute is not accredited by NBA, so this is not a good quality institute. Then this is institute's responsibility to help students so that their head go high and they are not humiliated by other students of other institutes. And there may be risk of losing job also in other parts. Some news that was came in some Middle East countries, they are not accepting students without MBA. As we have NBA, there are different orientations of NBA. One is discipline wise, another is level wise. discipline-wise means say computer science, electronics, electrical, that way, and level-wise means this diploma, degree, UG, PG. That is one way of looking into its categorization. And every institute, there are two different categories. One is tier 1, another is tier 2. Main difference between these two is tier 1 who are academically autonomous, who can design their own syllabus, assessment process, and all these things, so that when this NBA is looking into students' success rate or curriculum, so those gaps or anything those are there, who is responsible? If this is a tier 2 institute, they will say that, see, we don't have any right to change or make changes. These are responsibility of university, and that's why we can't help in this. But if this is tier 1 institute, then every responsibility is on that institute. So that way we have two different even format for evaluation. Another one, we have very important part, that is pre-qualifier. And pre-qualifier, it is designed that there are some basic criteria which are maybe binary, pass-fail criteria. So if these are satisfied, then only uh, those will be evaluated, otherwise not. So initially, there was no such pre-qualifier. People used to go and see into these visits and all. But later on, we found that in some institutes, when we are starting from our home, I know that this institute is not going to get accreditation. Because, say, for example, student to faculty ratio, if it is what is required, 20, 25, whatever, so if it is more than that, and so they are not getting it, so that exercise is meaningless. And so pre-qualifier was designed, and that is to be submitted first, and once that pre-qualifier gets through, then they are again submitting this SAR and others next it goes. Then comes this SAR, mainly self-assessment report. This is main, we can say the main application part for accreditation. It is quite long with all documents to be included in that. So there are 10 criteria at present. We have 7 criteria for program and 3 for uh, the common criteria. Now, you may be knowing that there is a discussion going on. There is a draft SAR already prepared, and we are there is some changes in this model, and this SAR will may come any day, and there we have less number of criteria we have, and there only 9 criteria those are proposed. In that, only 1 criteria is institute level. Other 8 criteria, those are again department level or program level. And if you are experienced or you know these things, again that first year part, which was there with the institute level with the chairman, that is again going to be included in program. So first year is a common curricula, that was the concept. Even in our university, we also changed that format because of NBA. Earlier there was not a common curriculum, but we had to do that. And now we find again there is a change in this NBA, which is proposed, any day it will appear. Then we may not require a common curriculum. Again, we may go for first year separate for computers and separate for electronics. So there is a proposal in that way. So this criteria what we have in this SAR, mainly those data to be filled up and supporting documents are to be given. So that's why I told if there is a practice of OBE and all these things, then there no need to create or procure any document. All should be there if these are maintained properly. Now, in NBA, there is a saying that any data is considered as no data unless supported by documentary evidence. So anytime when there is any data, any information we are putting, then question arises where is the supporting document? And that supporting document, if you can produce, then we can put that data. Although in some situations it became reverse, like putting data and for that data what document is required, that is some way produced. So this SAR is created or designed for respective program, and there we have at present what we are having that SAR. There we have outcome based education related marks, that is 40%. Resource and facilities like laboratories and others, workshop, those new facilities generated, technical staff, those 25%, and contribution and accomplishments by students and faculty members, that is 35%. And this 35% is mostly quantitative. So there is very less chance to be changed by the evaluator. Now this 40% outcome-based education, there lies the issue that it is subjective in nature. So sometimes it is on the perception of evaluator. They put some marks arbitrarily also. And here lies the issue that institutes are getting for 6 years or 3 years. So that is the main part, because we have seen in several visits that if SFR is okay and lab facilities are there, means number of sufficient faculty members and lab facilities exist, and students are passing, means qualifying this degree, getting degree, then 3 years is not tough to get. Although evaluators, they say several things, several ways they try to get. That is again depends on, they are also human beings. Some are very critical, some may not be that way. So this way we have 3 years accreditation is nowadays almost very common. Very rare now institutes are not getting accreditation. But 6 years, maybe more than 3 years, that is an issue. Uh, Fortunately, our department, we got 6 years. So this resource and facilities, those can be created, and issue is there. So investment, if there is investment, then facilities, labs, this can be created, uh, very good ambience and good marks can be obtained, and perception of evaluators also. These say if we have very good laboratory, good ambience, classrooms, these things, faculty members, then in OBE also there is some reflection, some extra marks, because of subjective nature of this, evaluators, they give some marks. Now this can be created any time. Like if we are applying, some institute is applying, within 6 months, laboratories, classrooms, all these things can be created. But this OBE practice, that is a different story. For last 3 years, 4 years, those cannot be created in last 3 months. Although there may be some documents, but every evaluator, they understand which are created and which are actually, those are their 3 years back. So as I told that tier 2 is different from tier 1, because tier 2, these are affiliated, and some universities in India still exist syllabus without course outcomes. So in syllabus of the university there is no course outcome. Still, tier 2 institutes, they are designing their own course outcomes for every courses, and they are doing some kind of evaluation. And that evaluation is restricted to internal evaluation part only. Maybe internal evaluation is 30%. Now remaining 70% is evaluated by the university, and they don't have any course outcomes in their syllabus. Even though they have that course outcomes in the syllabus, they are not forwarding course outcome CO based marks to the institutes. So they cannot calculate CO attainment and other things based on that information. So in this outcome based education, tier 2 institutes mainly, they are restricted to 30%, and remaining 70% is out of the scope of this OBE. So sometimes we are in a dilemma that because of 30% only we are giving marks and 70% remain unevaluated. So this tier 2 institutes is facing the problem. From 2030 or something, there is a deadline. There will be no affiliated in college or institutes, and all those institutes, colleges, they will be free from this affiliation tag, and they will be capable to design their own courses and evaluate and all these things. So by that there are some advantages and disadvantages also. Say for example, one institute may be very good, but since it is attached to a university which is affiliating so many colleges, then that institute, if doing the best or excellent, still not getting a good tag because of it is under that university. And some other institutes which are very bad, but because of tag of that university, students are getting advantage. So both way there are some merits and demerits. So accreditation will be there, otherwise institute may not survive. That is the thing. So everyone should go for accreditation, and we are listening from last 6 months that even IIT is also agreed for accreditation. Their demand is that the evaluators, the team that is evaluating or visiting should be from IITs only. So they have that type of demand. Okay, considering this NEP 2020, mostly institutes are supposed to be multidisciplinary, and colleges or others, maybe there will be a merging of institutes and all those things. There are some concepts, but I don't think those are possible in our country. There are some private institutes, state government institutes, central government universities. The merging of that, although there are academic autonomy, but other autonomy is not there. Administrative autonomy is with different category people. Now this education system is always told our education system, it was not good, it was not outcome based. Okay, but still we are trying to modify this education system. This you might have seen also. I am showing this because recently I have seen in our university this one was displayed in some wall. Uh, so this is an example given, like any education system, all are evaluated in similar manner. That may not be the good way to evaluate students. So depending on their own, what they have or in which capacity they can perform better. So those qualities are to be nurtured, and accordingly those are to be evaluated. So that's why the concept of this multidisciplinary choice-based credit system and this major, minor, those concepts are coming. If someone is not liking the one branch, so may go for some other subjects which he or she likes. But this example is very oversimplified. Example is given everywhere. This is one way true, but another way also this example is not sufficient, as because say if the task depends on the task. If task is climbing the tree, then we cannot offer that job to fish. So that is an issue also. So some situation it is oversimplified, and for any job everyone is eligible. So that is also not true. So in that way it should be looked into. Then this NEP and OBE. Now in NEP, this National Education Policy 2020, in that very first concept, so it is very long document, several things are there. I have just taken some points from that. The first concept it is having like no dropout concept. So if in our previous or earlier education system, it was like that if someone could not appear one semester end exam or some final exam, so we used to call it like final exam, final board exam, 10, 12 or some other standard. If someone is unable to appear that, year is gone, maybe they termed as some other students, so next year or may not be possible at all. So that was the concept of dropout. Someone's failing one year and then leaving that school. So that was the dropout concept. So now there is no any dropout concept in NEP. Anyone can read or they can study say up to some standard, any standard, class 5 maybe, or even second year B.Tech maybe. And after that he or she may leave, go somewhere, so may do anything, may do job or maybe doing nothing, sitting at home. After 3-4 years, 5 years, he or she may come back and say I want to continue. So that option is there, that option should be there or kept in this new education policy. So there is no concept of dropout. Dropout means someone has left and cannot come back to this system. Then comes this lifelong learning. This is from previous point again. So anybody can learn at any stage, study at any course. Then comes this academic bank of credits. This academic bank of credits is also linked to that no dropout concept. Academic bank of credits means anyone who is studying, once studied and earned some credit, so that will be kept as his credit for his entire life. Like if I earn some money and I keep it in bank, so that will remain for entire my life, or maybe for my inherited here for afterwards also, my long. But still I will enjoy for entire my life. Similarly, if I earn some credit, that will be kept in a bank, and anytime I can access that, I can use that. So any student say in our 4 years degree course, if someone has left say after 3 semesters, 4 semesters, any number of semesters, in that semester also maybe earned clear 3 courses, not other 3. So all those credits earned, those will be kept in a bank in his name. So after 4 years, 5 years, any years, if comes back, then there may be change in syllabus also. But in during that period, there will be like for BTech 160 or 170 credits to be earned. So whatever credit already earned, that is minus that at remaining credit to be earned to get that degree. So it is becoming that way simpler. Uh, then this CBCS, it is in practice nowadays in some universities, choice-based credit systems. So some credits are kept open so that students can choose from those and they can study as per their uh, choice. Then this 6M of NEP, multiple entry, multiple exit, multimodal, then multidisciplinary, multi-institutional, multilingual. So any kind of things to be incorporated, those all are included in this NEP. Anytime they can enter, anytime can exit. Different disciplines from there we can include students. So different languages nowadays you might have heard that some institutes they are starting local language BTech course. Even MBBS in Madhya Pradesh or somewhere MBBS course started in local language. Although there are some debates going on that what would be their future when they will move to some other part of India or abroad. So there are already that type of discussion, but people have already started this. This is another finally some typical thing like growth and expansion if not accredited. Some of the schemes they cannot apply model objective or other things or maybe projects. Some although it is not implemented yet, but there was a people are saying that if some institute is not accredited, then they cannot get any government funded project. New course intake that those can be uh, started by university because they enjoy academic freedom, but they cannot get AICT approval unless it is accredited. Uh, so this is about the motivation or things why should we go for accreditation, and so this one job or sect that or that I have told once. Okay, that's some other points to discuss. Okay, fine. This is OBE here. Outcome-based education. What is it? So it started say 1950. Then Bloom and Megar, that is 1962. William Spady is main contributor of this outcome-based education. Bloom they has given some taxonomies and objectives, but the study has given or written a lot in this outcome-based education, different models and all these things. So principles of OBE that was considered to be 1998, a book that was by this William Spady, and from there it started. In US, from 1970, this OBE model that was in practice. Certification, diploma, degree, all are having this OBE practice for improvement of quality. First, this definition was given in 1994 by William Spady that outcome-based education means starting with a clear picture of what is important for students to be able to do, then organizing the curriculum, instruction, and assessment to make sure that this learning ultimately happens. So there is the main difference. Difference is the line written here that for 5 words that students to be able to do. It is not like that I am giving some instruction, teaching in class. Ultimately, what students should be or they are looking for, or what is the target they will be doing after completion of the course, that picture is neither clear to student, even not to teacher. So there came this outcome-based education in practice. So there are a difference between this traditional education mode and OBE. Orientation earlier it was teacher centric, and now it is student centric. It is not that what teacher is teaching, it is that what student is learning. Because before Jadavpur University, I worked in other university, that is University of Calcutta, very old university. And when I joined that university, I found the class routine, teacher name is written, no course name or subject name. Only teacher name is written, and that is timetable for students. Maybe there is some index or pointer that which teacher is teaching which subject, but what I have seen from that, I try to infer that here importance is to the teacher only, not to subject or students. And sometimes we find that also. Nowadays there is this CO outcome based education, and all unit are different from different units. There are some questions and all these things. But I have seen that there was no semester system, entire year teaching is going on, and what teacher is teaching, that is syllabus. What part of teacher is teaching, and maybe giving some emphasis on some topics. Like there may be a syllabus, out of that only 30% topics, those are in depth taught by some teacher, and remaining are not covered at all. So that depends on teacher, what teacher is teaching, and that is syllabus. So that is mainly teacher oriented, teacher centric. Now students are becoming little bit oriented towards this. So when they find that it is only 30% is covered, whether either they don't attend classes or they tell these teachers that other portions are also to be covered. Now, this so outcome-based education, we also think like sometimes why this again. We have learned, we have done all this without this OBE. Then we have also learned this subject. Is it not like that? We don't know anything, or we didn't learn anything. But there is a situation in this way that if we have for CO, so if I go for CO attainment, if one CO covering topics are not covered at all, and those are not asked in exam, so during CO attainment, that CO won't be attained. So if someone is judiciously or honestly maintaining that record of CO attainment, so from there only it will come out that which portion is covered and what is not. So this is about future development of students, that capacity building part, what students will be able to do. Accordingly, we are designing syllabus, COs, mainly based what POs are to be attained. So accordingly, COs should be designed. Then teaching methods also. Now teaching methods are changing. There are different delivery methods are suggested. And even in NBA accreditation, although still it is not that way, marks are not that detrimental, but still we when there is a they look into classroom delivery and what are different modes used to deliver that course. It is seen there. Then previously there was rote learning and passive learning. I have some slides. So rote learning, that is only remembering things, the questions like define and what is this, what is that. So this definition of something which is or some points. So that is the rote learning, just remember and write. So I am saying that Asian countries are habituated in this form. When people of other country, other continents, they laugh at Asian students. That why are you going to remember all these definitions and these things? These are available in books and you can refer anytime. But when I was in school, that time it was very students. They used to get very good marks from teachers if they can write all these things word by word without missing any word. If someone can write definition, then full marks. Then comes this evaluation method. There are test scores only, but now what are the different skills developed, what students can do or perform, that is to be measured. Evaluation, after 1 year there is one evaluation, or maybe there was system like half yearly, annual, that's all. But now we have several or continuous assessment. In fact, in engineering, in lab classes, we know that every class there is some assessment to be done. Then only one instance in learning period, if someone is missing that or could not do well in that one chance, then he is or she is missing that entire year. Syllabus is very rigid. Now we can have a free hand in designing syllabus. This teachers can design, or depending on that COs and others. So that is the academic flexibility that should be given in this OBE. Motivation is another part. Then students to be motivated by putting some challenges in front of them, critical comments, and students, if they are asking also some critical questions, teachers should answer all these questions without thinking that student has become some kind of, means, trying to test teacher or in that way. Here OBE pyramid is designed. There are P1, P2, P3, P4 and P5, and each of these there are components. So at bottom level P5 there are 5 components, so its size is more, and P1 is having only one component, P11, that's why its size is less, or its width is less. What are this P category? The P1 is paradigm, and it is having P11, where the new paradigm is that learning is more essential than when and how something is learned. And all students should exit the system as really effective learners. So it is not like that if someone has completed within 1 month or given deadline or within 4 years, then only he has completed the course, others are not. It is not that. So when and how something is done, that is not important. It is to be done. Learning should take place. And that's why it was like there is no dropout concept in NEP 2020. Then comes P2. It is having 2 components. One is P21, another P22. In P21, that ensuring every student has the skills, abilities and qualities. That is the purpose where the success after leaving this system. And purpose, another purpose B22, that organizing and running schools in a way that all students can attend and optimize these outcomes. So first one is one student should get those skills and abilities, and second purpose, that is it should institute should provide or organize that course program in such a way that every student should attend that. Then premises. There are three premises. One is not every student will study and succeed the same way every day. So it depends on students' capacity, and we should not close that this topic or these things we have covered today and that's all. It is not. It won't be discussed any other day. 3.2, even accustomed learning is encouraged by successful learners. So this successful learning, there must be some other way so that they can be acclimatized or they can be you get that utility or advantage for this learning purpose. P33, that premises schools have direct control over factors that affect good school learning. So school should not tell that this infrastructure is not available today or that teacher is not there, so this learning cannot take place. Then principles, there are 4. Focus on key final outcomes with clarity, increasing success-oriented opportunities. Then comes high assurance for everyone's success. So here there is one important point to be highlighted, that everyone's success. It is not like that I am going to class of 60 students and I teach and I find 15-20 students are very good and other 20 are average. So I am looking into all those 20 students and they are performing very well, and 20 they may not get or they may not they may fail also. So I need not bother. So it is not like that. Everyone's success is important. Designing backward from the end result. So what is the result we are obtaining? From there we need to move backward to check different points where we missed and why this result or this outcome we are getting. The specification of outcomes. Every outcome to be specified and those should be separated. Even if we require, we can segregate those outcomes into 2, 3, 4 so that those can be easily obtained or achieved. Outlining and detailing curriculum and syllabus. So that was initially when we used to see earlier that there is a syllabus, and that syllabus written some words, some keywords are written, 20-22 keywords are written, that's all. Later on we have seen unit separation. Some units are separated so that we can understand which topic is under which unit. Then it came that every unit to be written like how many lectures are required for each unit or some sub units, so that amount of depth for each of those subunits are understood by students and teacher both. Then this delivery of instruction, lectures, demonstration. So these are all practices, note and record results, pursue advancement and find ways to move forward. So these are pyramid of OBE, that 5 P's in this. Then comes this outcome-based education. There we have outcome-based education, outcome-based curriculum, outcome-based teaching learning, and outcome-based assessment. This is a complete comprehensive package. Outcome-based education is not complete if we don't have outcome-based curriculum, outcome-based teaching learning, and outcome-based assessment. Because outcome-based education, every outcome should be measurable. And measurable means what? any outcome in teaching learning we can measure by some assessment. So if I don't have that assessment, then I cannot claim that OBE has taken place. For example, say very good example it is like we are doing assessment for someone's spoken ability or oral communication, and I have an assessment that is a MCQ question, MCQ written question. So if I have that assessment, I can put 10, 20, 50, any number of questions, and any candidate may perform very well. But assessment, it was for oral communication. So there is no any matching, or we cannot claim that I have done that evaluation and which is effective. These are the terms used nowadays under this OBE, because usually we used to call this one as subject earlier. So there is no any subject. So that is course nowadays, any course. So that the principles of thermodynamics or basic electrical engineering. So these are courses, unit of teaching for one semester. Then comes program, and this is about the one what we call that 4 years. Now we call it as degree, 4 years degree or 4 years course. That is program, 4 years BTech, B in any CSE, EC or like that. And degree is the academic award. So after completion of the program, if someone is successful, then what is awarded, that is called degree. Then this OBE, we have several quality parameters and different outcomes. Those are to be defined, articulated, framed as measurable statements so that those can be measured. An objective of this entire process that for engineering students who have successful career, become a professional or becoming an entrepreneur, chief executive, researcher, public sector, multinational company or other foreign country. So for all those, whatever skills are required, those should be included in this 4 years program. It is not like that some topics are given and those should be remembered and again written into the answer script. Giving assurance for achieving dreams of the students. So that way counseling, contacting students, that is a scheme of mentorship. There should be some mentor who will interact with students to know about their different dreams. Accordingly, they will go for different subject or courses they will choose. They will go for different major minor combination. And then program educational objectives. For any program, after completion of that program, 3-4 years passed, then what students will be doing or they are able to do, that is measurement of program educational objectives. This program educational objective, that after 4-6 years of graduation, what they will be doing. Now, how to assure or measure that? So that can be measured by some taking good feedback from students after 4-6 years. But again, there are some issues like there is no connection between students and institute. Students sometimes they are not having a good feeling about institute. So if they are doing well also, they are not responding. So there are several things, but ideally the case is after 4-6 years, there should be feedback from students what they are able to do. Accordingly, we need to calculate or set this PEO. Benchmarking, national standard, international standard for all these goals that we are setting. Then NBA program outcomes, we have program outcomes, those are given by NBA, those are set. Earlier institute used to design, but later on it was found that those POs are not at all designed properly. That's why NBA fixed this program outcomes, 12 POs. Then how to meet these POs? We have different courses in these 4 years, and these courses are to be designed in such a way that each course will have some course outcomes. Now, in these course outcomes, if we have 50 courses, so around 4 to 6 course outcomes are there for each course. Then there will be 250 course outcomes around, and using those course outcomes, we need to achieve our program outcomes, which is already defined. And by that, we can say we are comparable with any other institute in India or abroad. Curricular and co-curricular activities are also included, so that some POs which are not attained by directly by some courses can be attained. So these POs and COs, these are program level outcomes. Still there may be a question like POs are same for all. How come this is program level outcomes? But it is, because although it is defined same for all, but say some solution of some engineering complex problems or applying some tools, so that will not be same for computer science and say civil engineering. Although PO is same, but realization of that will be different. The tools may be whatever software tools or any design tools used in civil engineering or say agricultural engineering, that will be different compared to electronics and computer science engineering. So in that way, POs are different. POs are different in other programs. And COs are completely related to courses. So since courses are totally different, then COs should be. Different department may offer more than one program. So this accreditation is done for each individual program. Infrastructure and human resources are there for entire department. Then we have mission and vision for institute as well as for department. So mission, vision, these are for department, not for program. Those are to be aligned. This mission, vision of department should be aligned with the institute's mission, vision statements. Institute has that mission, vision that is to be achieved by mission, vision statements of all departments. Continuous improvement is one part, because today whatever mission, vision is, it may change after 15 or 20 years. So this OBE framework here, it is given for course and program institution level. So course, then it is course outcomes, then student outcomes, PEO, then it is achieving mission, vision of institutions. And improvements, these are through course planning and delivery. There is assessment evaluation, course assessment, program assessment, and institutional assessment. So there is a hierarchy. Assessment evaluation, that gives us some clue so that we can perform or we can go for improvement. These are the key constituents of outcome-based education. There are course outcomes. From that, we are getting program outcomes. If course outcomes are attained, through that we attain program outcomes. From program outcomes, PEOs, and PEO gives us mission vision statements that missions are attained. There is a graduate attributes in the right hand side. I have kept it because it is no longer there in our NBA system, but this program outcomes, those came from the graduate attributes initially designed by or distributed during Washington Accord. Then comes what are different outcomes. So we have this program outcome, then programs, then department vision mission, and that gives us institute's vision mission. That is the hierarchy. What is vision? Vision is futuristic statement of any institute that would like to achieve over a long period of time, maybe 50 years, 100 years, so that may be the vision statement. Mission statement is how can we achieve that vision. Like one example here, create high quality engineering professionals. This is our vision. Maybe after 20 years, 50 years, it will happen. Some institute is started today, or maybe 2-3 years. Mission is offer this well-balanced program of instruction, practical experience, opportunities for overall personality development. So these are some of the means by which that vision can be achieved. This is another example. Vision is transforming lives through quality education and research with human values. And missions are that is given in bullet form. So it is good to give bullet form that are say 4 or 5 mission statements. To maintain excellent infrastructure and highly qualified and dedicated faculty. So in this faculty is given importance, given first point. Those are the pillars of institutes for this quality education. Although some management think it just opposite. There are like to provide conducive learning environment, ambience of humanity, wisdom, creativity, and team spirit. So these are the points how that vision can be achieved. So this way there are several vision statements can be written like department. This is mechanical engineering department, competitive mechanical engineers. Those are produced with social responsibilities. Now in that there is a professionalism, communication, team spirit, teaching learning, environment. So all those are mentioned. Then this PO, as PO, these are broad statements, and these are considering mission statements. So POs are responsible to achieve mission statements. That's why this PO should be totally linked to mission statements. Each of those mission statements, how those can be attained or achieved, that will come from this PO. Number of POs should be less, 3 or 4, which can be manageable, achievable, and very specific. Now, these POs are developed by consulting stakeholders, industry, alumni, students, management, faculty, parents, so all those inputs. Now, those can be summarized, then accepted views are put as objectives. Now, how those can be achieved based on that, for that we need to introduce some courses and elective and core courses for that. So this is a program outcome. This is fixed by NBA. So if you are in BA practice, these are already there in institutes walls. It may be displayed. Then comes course outcomes. POs and POs are major outcomes. How to achieve or attain those POs and POs, that is through course outcomes. These course outcomes are micro level outcomes. For individual course, we have these outcomes, and those are distributed over all semesters. Then what happens to CO? CO refers to a specific attainable or measurable qualities. Now, in this CO part, every course we have some CO, 4 or 6 CO, and using that we try to attain POs. The total number of B program we have 300 maybe. It depends on what credit we have, how many courses we are having in the course structure. Mainly knowledge level is very important to know or understand when we are going for these COs. Next comes this mapping part, how this mapping is done. So this is mapping part design. You can see how this mission is achieved. First, we have some COs for each course. From those COs, we attain POs, program outcomes. From program outcomes, if those are attained, and from feedbacks from students who have passed 4-5 years back, we are collecting that feedback, and that gives us PO. And PO finally gives us attainment of mission. So there is a direct link. It is not like that arbitrarily we are designing some COs and POs and doing some kind of attainment. No. So after one cycle or maybe 4-5 years, it is to be checked that what our mission statements, those are achieved or not. If those are achieved, then good. If not, then for what do we need to change our PEOs or COs, or some courses to be introduced or removed, or we need to redefine our mission statements. So that's a closed loop. This is about PO mission statement mapping. This is the table, mission statements and PEOs. It can be done in opposite way also. Rows are for PEOs and columns are for mission statements. So that gives us the linking. Here we put the strength of that link. That mission statement 1, how to achieve that, or is it correlated with PO1 or strongly or weakly? So that is to be mentioned by some points like say 1, 2, 3. 3 is highly correlated, 1 is loosely or weakly correlated. So this was earlier that program outcomes and graduate attributes. We used to do that. Then comes this PO and program outcomes. If there is any mapping, or we can find out the correlation between these outcomes. Then comes this COPO mapping, which is very important, or we need to calculate always. So COPO mapping is here, like you can see that CO1, CO2, CO3 that we have in one course, and PO1 to PO12. This mapping I am showing, you can see that mostly in first 3 COs there is only one PO linked. I have seen mostly in teachers, they do this COPO mapping, and that is not correct. First thing is that one PO should be strongly mapped to one CO. Otherwise, we should not design that CO. This is the first principle. So if any CO is mapped to all other POs which are like 1, 2 or that, so this should not be there. So that way we are ensuring that at least that PO is attained by this particular CO. And some teachers, they write in one row several linking like CO1, PO1, 3, CO1, PO2, 3, CO1, PO3, 3. So this is not a good relation or good correlation, because this PO1, PO2, PO3, these are specifically higher understanding. So if PO3 is strongly related, it is understood that PO1, PO2 is also related to this CO1. So we should not put there any marking. So this is a problem mostly we find, and we always say that COPO mapping is not correct or understanding is not good. PSO is another one. What is that? Program specific outcomes. This is only one outcome which is related to individual program, like computer science and engineering program specific outcome and electronics program specific outcome will be different. Not only that, computer science and engineering PSO of one institute is completely different than another institute. Why this? Because PSO is the only sector where we can put our strength. I'm saying strength because nobody wants to show their weakness. So to show strength, how to show that strength? So strength is shown in PSO by showing that, say, some institute is very good in one area. Maybe it's a software, hardware, or some specific domain, IoT, or cloud computing, or maybe IML, something like that. So that can be highlighted in this PSO. Legacy of any institute which is there for 50 years, 100 years, 150 years. So what they have developed, what they have achieved in so many years, that thing is highlighted in this PSO. Now there may be a question like, if an institute is new, there is no any legacy. So what to show in this PSO? Then they can keep in mind that what is their objective, in which area they are trying to become a leader. They can put that in this PSO. So this way, this PSO is completely different than PO, PEO, and all others. Once we have designed PSO, that is to be achieved again. Now, if I am writing that my department is very good in IML and we are writing tools and those things in PSO development, learning, and all, and I don't have any subject in any course in this IML, then how can I achieve these PSOs? So there should be some courses, and those should be elaborately shown, and COs are to be there which can attain these PSOs. So this assessment or attainment is hierarchical. Course outcomes first, then from there we get program outcomes, whether those are attained or not, and from there PEOs. Then comes this OBE implementation. There are some models for this. So OBE implementation, here we have three different types. One is ostrich, another is peacock, and then weaver. These are given by this Harden in 2007. So this is OBE implementation profile. There are 9 points, 9 criteria: statement of learning outcomes, communication with staff, students, educational strategies, learning opportunities, course content, student progression, assessment, educational environment, student selection. So those are given by given there in that model. So if someone wishes to include some other points, or one point can be subdivided again. Those are found in that 0 to 5 scale. And what is your position at present for all those criteria? So that if you mark, you will understand at which level you are as so far this OBE implementation is concerned. First comes this ostrich level. Every day people think, okay, I will be doing it tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. So this way, all are zero. You can see these are marked, all these criteria as zero. Then comes this beaver model, that implementation and thinking or trying for all five. So all five, that is very good and excellent if all these criteria or points are met in this way, this beaver part. But there may be situation like peacock. So this is majority of institutions implement OBE. Some are at 5, like students learning outcomes, just because results are always available with the result section. So those can be calculated and all are available. Other parts are quite low, like 1, 2, some may be 0. So this is a realistic situation. That beaver is idealistic one and may not be possible always. So that's why there is one line, disillusioned beaver coming to peacock. So sometimes beaver may think like everything will be done and will be at 5. So after some couple of months, they understand that it is not that simple, and they come back to the position of this peacock. There's some criteria with 1 point, some are at 2, like that. Expectation is something here, neither viewer not peacock. Some are 1, some 3, 1 is 4, students learning is 5. So if this is there, maybe say 3 months before application or 2 months before application, then this is very good situation for OBE. So curriculum development, that is to be done so that students can demonstrate. This Weaver, who not only develop a set of learning outcomes for the course, they work hard to implement OBE. Then OBE as a way of designing, delivering, and documenting instruction in terms of its intended goal and outcomes. So that's why this Weaver is all 5, means this is idealistic and everyone should try to achieve that. So if as per SAR, everyone is for all those criteria, they are at 0.5, then they can claim for 6 years accreditation. OBE based curriculum. So in this OBE definition, there are points: curriculum, instruction, assessment to make the learning ultimately happens. So this is the curriculum part, outcome based curriculum. First, I started with outcome-based education, that is, and then curriculum. And here, thing is that should satisfy program-specific criteria. What are different program-specific criteria? Those are to be included. In that, we have basic knowledge of science, mathematics, and computing. That's why it is there in our prescribed syllabus. Then comes core knowledge of different domain. So we have nowadays open elective and other courses. Depth and broad knowledge in specialized area, professional core and professional electives. Balance between theory, practical, and tutorial. Total credits and distribution of credit for different components. Then we include literature studies, seminar, internship, projects, and presentation, so that they can prepare how to create a presentation, how oral presentation is given. So those things, internship, how they can work in their actual place. Then program specific criteria, what we have designed, or it is derived from those POs. Accordingly, we have to design for different levels, like in bachelor level, it is one type. Then curriculum topics and faculty qualifications, that is to be uh, set. So our regulation body, they have already mentioned, like diploma level, degree level, masters, what should be PhD qualifications. Those are already there. For example, I have mentioned here for computer engineering that computer engineering is a discipline that embodies the science and technology of design, construction, implementation, and maintenance of software and hardware components of modern computing systems and computer controlled equipment. Computer science combines computer simulation, scientific visualization, mathematical modeling, computer programming, and data structures, networking, database design, symbolic computation, and high performance computing with various disciplines. So these are first defined. What are the things to be included in computer science or computer science engineering? To separately, but our computer science design should combine both. And this I am showing, it was designed by a joint committee of ACM and IEEE. So from these points, we are picking what are the courses to be included in our 4 years degree course. It is the program. So this is not arbitrary. So computer engineer, what they should satisfy the criteria. These are also mentioned. So this context of design refer to ability beyond assembling and configuring systems. So designing anything in that level of 4 years bachelor degree, it is not just assembling or configuring things. That is to be understood. Breadth of knowledge in mathematics and engineering sciences, broader scope of engineering. So that's why we have basic engineering courses introduced. Acquire and maintain a preparation for professional practice in engineering. So that is also to be taught somehow. Here we have program outcomes. So I'm not discussing detail because it is already there fixed by NBA. So this is curriculum design process. How do we look into this curriculum design? Curriculum design, there we have this program specific criteria, then program educational objectives, graduate attributes are there, program outcomes are there. Then components of curriculum, several components: basic science, maths, basic engineering, engineering core, core elective, interdisciplinary elective, institutional level multi or cross-disciplinary elective design. Then we have courses. So from each of these components, we have courses. Now from there we will get COs. Then mapping COs with PO, and we get this course formation. So this hierarchy, what advantage we are getting, or why should we look into this hierarchy? This hierarchy, we get that COs are there as basic building block. Now, if some CO we have, but this is not achieving or attaining, helping attainment of any PO, that CO should not be there in the course. Now, another point I must say that when we are now say we are designing undergraduate course structure, we are also in our university we are trying to design another new structure, and we are in the process of that. In that, we have seen that professional core is now reduced to around 60 to 65 credits. Present we have around 85. So around 20 credit to be reduced from professional core. So what are the courses to be removed? We have to remove some courses. Although practically what happens, we remove those courses for which teachers are not available, or maybe we want to remove one course, but a teacher is there who is teaching it and very strong support in the department, so we cannot remove that. So this is some practical things. I know some BOS I attended, there was issue like this subject cannot be removed or this course some teacher is teaching. But ideally here we need to check what are the courses they are helping to attain POs. So if some course we find that is weakly representing the some POs, that can be removed, because our ultimate objective is PO attainment because of all those courses. And if we find that some, so there are 8, say 5 courses, all are helping in a similar way for attaining POs. So from those 5 we can remove 1 or 2 so that there is no any change in PO attainment. So these are the things. If we are designing course, so we need to. It is not like arbitrarily. Okay, I am removing computer graphics. It is no longer required, or put compiler design in elective. So it is not like that. COBO mapping, that is very important. Here we some arbitrarily 1, 2, 3 these markings are given, which is not proper. So all COs to be mapped to POs, at least with one PO strongly, and all POs should be attained by COs. That is also should be we should look into. It is not like that some POs are heavily correlated with all COs, but some POs are not. So that should not be the situation. Then instruction part, delivery of courses. So that's course outcomes. All those will be disturbed or cannot be attained if teaching learning process is not proper. In that we have different knowledge levels by this hierarchy or taxonomy given by Bloom. There are some action verbs. Those are used to assess or evaluate whatever knowledge level we try to deliver. This is a structure. So pyramid, initially this was based on noun, knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, evaluation, 1956. In 2001, it is changed to verb form. That remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. So these are 6 knowledge levels: K1, K2, K3, K4, K5, K6. Then comes 3 domains of learning. One is cognitive learning, then affective learning, psychomotor learning. Now, cognitive learning is the mental or intellectual thinking behaviors demonstrated by an individual. till now, what we are doing in NBA, that is following Bloom's taxonomy, that is cognitive learning. We are not, we haven't implemented yet effective learning and psychomotor learning. Next, what is coming in NBA, here we will introduce this effective learning, psychomotor learning also. It is not just Bloom's taxonomy, we will have some other levels, other things introduced into entire teaching learning process and evaluation. So these are different pyramids. For knowledge level, we have K1 to K6. For effective domain or attribute level, we have A1 to A5. Receiving, responding, valuing, organizing, or conceptualizing, characterizing by value or value concept. And psychomotor domain, there are imitation, that manipulation, precision, articulation, naturalization. So these are these things to be learned next. Those will be coming. So there are cognitive level. We have some verbs corresponding knowledge level. How to do this assessment or exam? What are the questions we should ask? For depending on these verbs, like some application, if we want that compute, solve, or use, or if we some analysis is to be done, that is contrast this to that or examine this situation depending on some parameters or criteria. Knowledge, or first one, that is the remembering thing, that is define or list, just asking definition. So these are different levels. Effective level, receiving, responding, how these are happening. So this cannot be done in our passive type of teaching learning. So whether received or respond, what type of respond, what is the time frame, all these things are to be done. At present, we are some this type of things we record in our Viva, but not in a large scale. Then psychomotor domain, they are also imitation, how the copy action of another, manipulation, reproducing the things, precision, execute skill reliably. These are the points, these are coming. Now this one example I want to give, like CO, able to comprehend fundamental knowledge, that is K2. Able to describe, that is again knowledge level 2. Able to write, compile, debug, that is knowledge level 3. So each of these we can use verbs to write a CO, and what knowledge level we are trying to deliver or assess, so we can mention that. Now in this delivery we have several methods: classroom teaching, active learning, visual presentation, discussion, demonstration, field visit, tutorial. So depending on different knowledge level, we have different delivery style. Active learning, that involves students in doing things, thinking about what they are doing. It is not like passively sitting in classroom and teacher is doing something on board. Some are copying those. That's all. It is not like that. Participation is should be there. Active learning and passive learning, here retainment is this. There is a diagram shown. This active learning retainment is more than 60%, but lecture time in class, first 10 minutes, 20 minutes may be very attentive, but afterwards it declines. After 1 hour, it comes to 10% or like that. So my lecture is also 1 hour 40 minutes. So I don't know what would be the retainment. So this is about active and passive part. Only reading is 10%, then listening 20, if we see 30%, then it is going up if there is participation. 90% is possible if there is a presentation by students, simulation, or doing some experiments. So these are three categories. One is rote learning type, another is demonstration, and then analyze, define, create, evaluate. So these are different knowledge levels we are putting in this pyramid. Learn by doing, inquiry-based learning, problem-based learning, cooperative learning. So these are part of active learning. Answering questions, formulating this, discussing, explaining, debating, brainstorming. So these type of things are not included in our assessment, in our conventional examination system. Unless we are including those, we cannot assess active learning. Although we can implement it, but we need to change the regulations of our institutes. Increasing students' participation, engagement, their retention, less lecturing by instructor, and exciting experiments in classroom so they can come and attend classes. Otherwise, nowadays they practice like students are going through some YouTube lectures, maybe better than the classroom teacher. And another advantage is they can go through it anytime, maybe at night, 2 p.m. also, sorry, 2 a.m. it is possible. Then comes this assessment. What are the different tools available for assessment? Form, test, rubric, those are to be used. What are the different methods? Direct or indirect we want to use. Direct is direct exam we are conducting. Indirect means from different survey there we can check for their uh, what knowledge level they have achieved. CO evaluation, we have several assessment tools. What are the tests conducted, assignments given, tutorial, case studies, project, seminar, course and survey. So some institutes I have seen for every subject they have seminar. They have changed the course, designed, and every course they have introduced seminar so that they can evaluate for higher knowledge levels. Assessment types, formative or summative. Then because one is diagnostic, means students are asked given questions, they are giving answers, so there is some remedy, correct answer to be told at that time. Evaluative means there is no any answer given or feedback given. So generally formative are throughout semester and evaluative is the end semester exam. Fixed time and flexible time. One is fixed time, what we conduct 2 hours, 3 hours test. Another is flexible time, assignment is given and can solve it and submit it after 3 days, 7 days, like that. Length of answer, short or essay type. Rote or meaningful learning. What is the knowledge level? One is just define, explain, and another one is to use some formula. There may not be a specific or unique answer to the given question. These are some verbs for remembering, understanding, applying, and different knowledge levels we have. But assessment is very important. This is not mentioned anywhere. I have given this specifically that remembering it is time limited, rote learning, and short or long essay type. But when we move to higher knowledge level, like say analyzing, that is not time limited. This is untimed. Untimed means some student is given that question, maybe after 3 days, 7 days, may come and submit that assignment. So that type of provision should be there in examination system. I'm saying again mentioning these program outcomes because I want to show that what is this knowledge levels like remembering and understanding. So remembering and understanding knowledge level, these are K1 and K2. Now, if some of you have already designed CO, you understand like remembering and understanding. If we have some CO, say CO1 is knowledge level 1, remembering that. But in our PO, first PO starts with apply the knowledge. Second one is analysis. So no PO is for remembering. Please note that no PO is for remembering. So if you are setting any CO for remembering knowledge level 1, you cannot map that CO to any of the POs. So when we evaluate SAR and if we find that if someone is mapping this knowledge level 1 or 2, remembering, understanding to any of the PO, that means that teacher's understanding of OBE is not correct. That is, there lies the problem of OBE understanding. This remembering and understanding, these are some of the things we cannot measure. Then comes a part which is rubric. Rubric is assessment tool which is to be uh, distributed and explained in such a way that entire scoring guide is available with the teacher as well as with the students. Students also should know what answer I have given and what marks do I expect. So continuum performance of quality, that is some scale that will be evaluated. And I must mention some of these things like oral presentation. If we have a rubric like this, we are trying to categorize candidate in this novice, partial mastery, mastery or above mastery grade. And in that we'll have oral presentation, organization and structure, knowledge of content, media literacy. So all those will be subdivided. And for each we'll have some marks. So if someone is found to be novice and why he is novice, she is novice, that is also given on what condition we mark that. And accordingly marks are given. It is not like that we are listening to presentation for 15 minutes and after that, okay, this student, okay, out of 20, 15, okay, he is 10, another one is 18. It is not like that. Every this subdivision should be there. Like here, PowerPoint project, again, there are some scale, and here creation, transition, clip, art and background, mechanics, so this is good. And finally, this is CO attainment calculation. Here, for individual question, we need to check what is the attainment for each student. So this is done after declaration of result. Once result is available, then only we can find out CO attainment. And questions are also to be designed in such that all COs are covered. And no student can answer full marks without attempting all those COs. Like if I ask, there are say 7 questions, each 20 marks, and I am asking that, okay, you write any 5. And there are 7 questions, any 5, 20 marks, 100, total 100 marks. So any student can say avoid, say CO5 or CO2 if that is tough and can answer others. So that should not be the situation. It should be like for individual CO there should be choice, and that will reflect our this CO attainment calculation. Now targeting that CO, whether that CO is attained or not. So that attainment calculation is also to be introduced. Like if 70% of students got marks more than 60%, then attainment is 3. If 60% of students attain more than 60%, this is 2. So that way we can set target. So that setting target is another important part. If two institutes, say CSE programs, they have got 3 years accreditation, and if someone asks me that which institute is better, because both have got 3 years accreditation, then I'll check what are the targets set by these two institutes, and depending on the target I will find the attainment, because some institute might have set a higher target and they have attained, so that institute should be marked as better than second one. This is another part. We should maintain a course file. That is also a very interesting one. We find somewhere that course file, it is of 3 years or 4 years, but all pages are very new. So these are uh, printed in 1 or 2 months. So that course file to be maintained. So that's why I told OBE practice should be there. And because if there is OBE practice, then individual individual course will have course files. And this CO gives us finally the PO attainment. Individual CO, if we have marking for CO-PO mapping, according to that mapping, the CO attainment, it will contribute to that PO attainment. It is simple calculation. We Excel file weighted sum depending on CO attainment and what is CO-PO mapping. By that we get for PO attainment for individual course, and then weighted sum for all courses, we get final PO attainment for entire program. Then from PO we find PO attainment. So this is the final one that I wrote. 2020 I wrote this. Say like this NBA one, not just data, not a bunch of documents, neither collection of information for the last 3 years. It is something else. Only data and document is not enough. Perception of evaluators, that is to be created in good sense. More data is always good data. So try to collect or try to get collected. Without documentary evidence, none are accepted. Faculty and student both should perform well. Marks are accurate for those nobody can cut in. So this faculty criteria and student criteria, whatever marks are there, it is objective. So quantitative marks, nobody can deduct 1 mark there. Facilities created for curriculum are not enough. Whatever facility is created, again evaluator will ask, is there anything else you want to show? Additional resources mobilized or evaluators are tough. So resource mobilization, project lab, research lab, those are always we look into. OBE is a hard nut to crack. Everybody feels confident, but evaluators are not satisfied. On every front, they are defiant. Whatever is told, it seems like evaluator is not finding that up to the mark. OBE is not understood or it needs improvement. I have written it within code because almost 99% of NBA evaluation report evaluators in some form, maybe diluted or maybe very critical, they write this thing. OBE is not understood, it needs improvement. Almost all evaluators reports essentially contain a comment of this. In every aspect, there is a demand for improvement. tell us a hike is not possible once it reaches the peak point. So some are having issues, like some institutes, they have 100% placement, so there is no any improvement. For our case, Jadavpur University, our admission criteria, student intake is such that we could not show any improvement. All are from 1 to 100 rank, we have admission students admission. The rate of decay could be measured by some significant the fall. So if there is any decline, so that can be recorded. Deterioration could be a measure to check the downfall. Compliance is the main criteria, all getting average score. So if you can comply in every criteria, every document is there. If you can comply, it is not very good, but if there is compliance, average score is given. Perception is created in 2 days to decide yes, no, or something more. So evaluators, subjective evaluation, as I told, 40% marks are on that. So it depends on perception created by evaluators. Hospitality is a good gesture that reflects culture and benevolence of in various form. Food, etc., all these things given every time, fruit, the fruit juice, tea, coffee, all these things. This is good gesture, but I haven't seen anywhere because of these things NBA accreditation is given by some committee. Nothing helps them in persuasion if, in practice, they fail to perform. So that I wrote in 2020, this lines, and with that it is already 3 minutes past 5. I stop here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Uh, Thank you so much for sharing your valuable knowledge with us. Actually, our session is going on in Gmeet and YouTube also. There is
Okay.
some questions from participant side. Participant Mohit Yadav has asked one question. Is multidisciplinary approach can even other universities should collaborate with other university like IIT, collab with the private university?
Answer is yes, but the issue is who is collaborating with whom. Uh, the problem arises. Collaboration is always it should be complementary. Complementary in the sense it is give and take thing. If someone is collaborating means A is collaborating with B and B is also collaborating with A. So A is getting something from B, B is also getting something from A. So if that happens, then only this collaboration will continue or it will be established.
Okay, sir. Thank you. And another participant, Sneha Shashi, has asked one question. How might advancement in machine learning impact society in the next decade? This is not the related to the OBE.
This is not related to that this topic, but I will say advancement in machine learning till now, what is the state of it? It is already advanced, we can say. Now there is no any limit in advancement. Improvement is always there in NBA also. There always we say what is the improvement or what improvement you are proposing. The machine learning improvement, machine learning, as this question came, I tell machine learning is not a subject. Machine learning is nowadays a language. What is the meaning of language? Like mathematics, people they study this as a subject, but I tell mathematics is a language. When we write something in mathematical form, I am writing it as a language. If I write an expression, it explains everything. So similarly, this machine learning will also that will represent huge amount of data into very concise form. And this machine learning is now taken by all domain, even science, means chemistry, physics, everywhere machine learning is studied. It is no longer a subject of computer science or this engineering domain.
Okay, thank you, sir. And the other participants, if you have any questions, you can ask here also. Okay, sir, another question has arises. So, what is CO and PO mapping formula?
Yes. CO mapping, there is no any specific formula. First of all, we need to identify what for this CO is, because one CO should be associated with at least one PO with high correlation. This is first criteria. Second is, once if I have mapped one CO with one PO, but I don't ask any question related to that, like say I have mapped one CO with PO 3 or PO4 or PO5. Say PO5 is some uses of modern tools. So I have mapped one CO with PO5, but when I am evaluating in assessment, there is no any question related to modern tools. So that mapping is not evaluated at all. So that's why this mapping is very important. Once I put that mapping, I have to evaluate also during exam with that mapping and with that strength.
Okay, thank you, sir. Another question is that, sir, improving higher education through pedagogical approach is really important topic.
Is it a question?
Some participants have arises some questions. How it will be important? How pedagogical can be improved with the higher education?
This I have mentioned, like some of the if I have a CO, I have to cover this. I cannot complete that course without covering that CO. And if that CO is there, it will be mapped to some of the POs, and those are to be evaluated as per their criteria. Like if I want to get knowledge level 3 or 4, accordingly I have to set questions like knowledge level 3 can be evaluated in fixed time slot, 2-3 hours exam. But if it is knowledge level 4 or 5, I have to go for some untimed exam. Like project work, if we give for one semester, given a problem, we don't say that you come tomorrow with solution. Then comes what are the differences?
Difference between PSO and PEO, sir. What are
Okay.
the differences between?
PSO is something, a program educational objective, what students will be able to do after 4-5 years. So when they will be at field with that knowledge, those who are acquired, what they can perform. And PSO is completely different. It is program specific output. In that program, like computer science or mechanical engineering, that particular institute on what topics they are trying to emphasize. So those what are the legacy of that institute, or what they wish to introduce next, or what they will be having a strength. Accordingly, PSOs are designed and delivered. Like if some institute is having strength in one topic, so when we are hiring candidates for some job, we may know that okay, he is from that institute, so that student should be knowledgeable in this specific domain. So that way, PSOs are linked, and those are important.
Okay, thank you, sir. Again, thanks a lot to you for sharing your valuable knowledge with us. We'd like to appreciate a small token of appreciation, and this certificate is to you, sir. Just I'm sharing. Give me 1 minute. Hey. Okay, this is for you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. And now I am requesting to all of you, please switch on the camera so that we can capture some photos for memorable day. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, just sir, ছেড়ে গেলেন। Sir, hello, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can you please share PPT? A lot of participants are requesting for PPTs.
Okay.
So just,
Actually.
oh,
Okay.
okay. Thank you, sir.